Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, and this is our last week at the Lake Sunapee Protective Association, where they believe we owe it to future generations to care for this special place. Today, we hear from Tim Blagden of the Concord to Lake Sunapee Rail Trail, who has an important update for us. We'll hear about the return of the Women Who Make a Difference luncheon. Nancy Tripp will tell us about the Summer Music Associates Youth Outreach. And we'll close with a replay of the Glean Kearsarge segment we did last fall. But first, a few words from one of the underwriters that make your Yankee Chronicle possible. Please stay with us.
This program is supported by Main Street Bookends of Warner for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel, your host. Periodically, we get an update on the developments of the Concord to Lake Sunapee Rail Trail. Tell us, Tim, what's been going on during the winter season?
Thanks, Abby. Talking this morning from Kentucky Village in the town of Hopkinton. I'm here with Anna Wells, who's the Economic Development Director for the town of Hopkinton. Anna can describe a new section of trail that will connect Hopkinton Library to Kearsarge Ave. And this was a project where the town applied for the trail grant with the Recreational Trails Program, and the Friends of the Concord Lake Sunapee Rail Trail agreed to partner and contribute a portion of the matching funds for the project. Anna, why don't you talk about the project and overall downtowns and trails in Hopkinton?
Sure thing. So this little segment of trail, which is going to work into the Concord Lake Sunapee Rail Trail system overall, comes off of Kearsarge Ave, very close to the high school, and it's going to connect through the woods, then up the rail trail piece over to Houston Fields and the library, where there is a dog park, a playground, the senior center, all of these community resources there. So what this accomplishes is allowing mostly students use this route between the high school and the library and the playing fields, and it helps them get off the street sooner onto the trail. It'll also allow snowmobilers, bikers, walkers, bikes, all those users of the rail trail to come further into Kentucky Village. There is a gas station nearby where snowmobilers and others can fill up, and all of our lovely restaurants and shops where folks can visit as they come closer into downtown while only having to cross one street. So we're really excited to partner with the Concord Lake Sunapee Rail Trail group, and grateful to the Recreational Trails Program to allowing us to fund this and make this trail happen. And it does, as you mentioned, fit in with a broader initiative that we're undertaking right now with UNH Extension, which is called Downtowns and Trails. And this is a really cool program that's been undertaken in 3 different towns in New Hampshire, Keene, Ossipee, and Bristol, and now Kentucky Village in Hopkinton is the 4th. This is a program that examines really the connection between downtowns and the economic hub that they are, and the trails that surround them, including the Blue Trail, the river, examines the connections and how to leverage those resources to make each of them more vibrant and successful. So we're really excited and pleased to bring UNH in to work on this program.
Awesome. Thank you, Anna. We really appreciate the update.
My pleasure.
And in other happenings in Concord, we continue to work on the 2.5-mile section of trail between 25 Fisherville Road and Carter Hill Road. With help from the New Hampshire Community Development Finance Authority, we received $200,000 in support from Grapponi Automotive Group, Sulloway and Hollis, Sugar River Bank, C&S Wholesale Grocers, NGM, Cold Springs RV, Irish Electric Corp., Cleveland Waters and Bass, Grapponi Management, Merrimack County Savings, and HEB Engineers. These businesses from all over the state recognize the value of trails, and we really appreciate their support. We also receive donations from private individuals and foundations. So we expect to be improving that section of trail this year, hoping to reach all the way to Carter Hill Road. The trail is open in its current condition. There's a parking lot at 25 Fisherville Road. Just expect a natural surface until we get the work done on the western end of that trail. In Warner, we're working to extend the existing trail at Bagley Fields. That's in the town of Warner. It's long been a goal of many in the town to connect the town's soccer fields and ice rink to the village so people could travel between these places safely without having to drive a car. The project will get us a half-mile closer to that dream. We continue to use volunteer labor and equipment in the early stages of this project. And last November, we had a massive volunteer turnout on a beautiful day to help place wattle along the edges of the trail prior to any dirt work. We will continue to work on this project with volunteers and donated equipment to reduce the overall cost of completing the project. Additional Trail Day events will be listed on our website and posted on our Facebook page. Also in Warner, and this is an update to our previous segment on YCN, we were awarded a grant for a project near Interstate 89 at Exit 9. That project would run from the east end of Waterloo Street, passing underneath 89 near the Warner River, and then split with a spur trail reaching the businesses near the roundabout in Warner, and a bridge over the Warner River connecting to railroad grade trail users would use to reach Warner Village. We were able to raise the matching funds for this grant through private donations and take the initial steps to partner with the town of Warner and New Hampshire Department of Transportation. The project will follow a very open process with many opportunities for public involvement. We expect 2023 to involve no construction, just planning and working on permits. Please follow along to help make this project a reality. It provides a safe way past the busiest section of non-interstate road in the town of Warner. Further out in the timeline is a project to connect Bagley Field to the village of Warner. This involves getting from one side of Interstate 89 to the other in the area of Exit 8. The interstate in this area has a very wide median where the Warner River is between the northbound and southbound lanes. The construction of the interstate destroyed or buried the old Concord and Claremont Railroad grade in much of this area, so a new trail would need to be constructed. We were assisted in our planning in this area by the National Park Service and a team of engineering students from Dartmouth College and a wetland scientist from the area. Working with the town of Warner, we've applied for a grant to construct this section and may hear later this year if we've been awarded the grant. Continuing west, in Bradford, we hope to be in a position to apply for a grant to improve rail trail surface and make a connection from the end of the Tilly Wheeler Trail to West Main Street. It would be a very visible section from 103 and support for the businesses popping up in Bradford. And in Newbury, last September, we held a 5K race which used a town-owned section of the grade and several privately owned sections. Thanks again to the landowners who allowed us to use their property for that event to take place. Much of the town section had brush growing on it. We will see if the town will allow us to remove the roots and smooth the surface along their section. But creating the Concord Lake Sunapee Rail Trail will take a long time and some luck to pull it all together. Much of the land is privately owned. Please always respect landowners by not trespassing. The overwhelming majority of trail users take exceptional care of the trail. And dog walkers, please always take care of your dog's waste. We see very little trash on the trail and thank everyone for treating the trail with so much respect. And there are many opportunities to volunteer, and as the weather warms, look for announcements about trail work days. You can come visit us at Spring Into Warner in May and Market Days in Concord in June and other events throughout the region. And if you'd like to stay up to date with what we're doing, please visit our website, clsrt.org, or our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/CLSRT. Thanks again. Back to you, Abby.
Thanks, Tim, and thanks for keep budding that dam. Someday, all the pieces of the puzzle will be filled in. When we return, we'll hear about the return of the Women Who Make a Difference luncheon and its purpose. But first, these words from the good folks that make our communities the great places they are, and the businesses that support us and the organizations you know and love.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and backup generators. Their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. It's been 3 years since the last Women Who Make a Difference luncheon. Let's hear about its return.
So we're so excited because we have not had this luncheon for 3 years. I can't even believe it's been 3 years. We tried to come back last year. We pulled the trigger, we were planning, and then it just, as a healthcare organization especially, it just didn't feel right to have 200 people in a room for 2 hours. There were some outbreaks, there were some spikes, and we at the kind of the last minute decided not to do it last year either. So we're back. You know, nominations, we sort of publicly put it out there for people. Anyone can nominate someone. There is a nomination form, but that's just really to give people a sense of what kind of things we're looking for about each person. The real premise of it is women who do extraordinary service for their community, largely as volunteers in the community. And so we always tell people, if you know someone who goes above and beyond with community service and giving back to the community, give us as much detail as you can about the person and why you think they should be a recipient of this award. Then we get nominations and the committee sifts through them, and over the years we kind of look at things like not only what they've done, but we try to get different towns represented. We don't want all the winners from the same town. We try to get different types of people represented. So there's some criteria around it. It's not real scientific, but it's really the committee that's been together a long time who goes through the nominations and selects. And the funnest part is we try to make it a surprise, and we've been pretty successful doing that. So once we pick the person, we sort of share the 411 with just whoever needs to know. And it's always kind of fun if the person isn't already coming to the event, how we're going to get them there. That's always kind of fun. So we try to make it a surprise. We've been pretty successful at that. And then about maybe 12 years ago, we decided, we should honor younger women who are the future of, women's leadership in our country. And long story short, we added a high school award. So we reach out to the local principals of the 5 local high schools and we say, do you have a woman who's either a junior or senior in high school who does extraordinary service for your school or wider community? And same process. We get those nominations from the guidance counselors and the principals, and we sift through them and we select the winner. That one's a little trickier, making it a surprise. To get the girl there, but we've been creative in trying to do that, and we've got a pretty good job of the student not really knowing what's going on. So first, I'll start with the date. It's Wednesday, May 10th. It is at Colby Sawyer College's Ware Campus Center in Wheeler Hall. It is $50 a person. It's been $40 for many years, and we did increase it to $50. I will say it's very popular. I don't know sitting in this moment when it's going to fill up, if it's going to fill up, but I would go on the premise it is going to fill up. Basically, the funds support all the programs of Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice because we're a nonprofit. So it's just extra funds to offset costs we incur, services that aren't reimbursed adequately, free services that we provide as a nonprofit. So all the proceeds go back to Lake Sunapee Region VNA. We have care from birth to end of life, as we always say. The theme this year is reconnect and feel the joy. And we chose that theme because people want to reconnect and they've missed it, and they've missed coming to this event because it's a very happy event. the best way I can describe it. There's music, there's raffles, there's door prizes, there's the awards, it's just a happy, joyful event. So our guest speaker, with the topic in mind for women to, reconnect and find the joy. We didn't want to dwell on the COVID years, but they're real for people. So, we want to sort of say, how do we move forward and find the joy based on what we've all been through for the last 3 years? And so Casey Matthews is a life coach, a transformational life coach. She is a mother of 2. She's a New Hampshire resident, and she's an author of several books. And her mission in life is for women to find the joy in their lives, to live the best life possible. And she does a lot of coaching with women. And she is just a delight. And so I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be lighthearted. She just kind of, how do we every day in our life, especially in the challenges we've had in the last few years, continue to find the joy, even when there are challenges. So, and I think she'll make it a lot of fun. So if you want to, please join us. If you've never been, please join us. It's great. You can call me at 526-4077, extension 231, or you can go to our website, lakesunapeevna.org. There's all the information is there, and just get your name on the list, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you, ladies, for the work you're doing to pull this event back together. When we return, we'll hear from Nancy Tripp about the Summer Music Associates' effort to develop an appreciation for music in our youth. First, a word from another one of our underwriters. Please stay with us.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel. Many know of the Summer Music Associates through their wonderful program to bring top-level music talent to our local stages. But there's more that they do. Tell us about it, Nancy.
Well, the youth outreach mission for summer music came about 5 or 6 years ago. Brenda Rappaport became a board member for Summer Music Associates, and Brenda is a former music teacher. And she has dedicated much of her time and effort on the board to creating a very vibrant youth outreach program. And it was in the back of the minds of the rest of the board in summer music, but it took someone whose focus was so direct and so passionate to really get it off the ground. So our first outing was in 2019, and we brought a group up from Brooklyn, 3 guys called Project Trio. Dynamic, wild, classical, jazz musicians, experts in their field, and they loved working with kids. So we brought them to the Kearsarge High School, and they worked a full day with the kids in the band who had prepared a piece of music prior to their arrival. And they worked with the kids in workshops and taught them improvisation. They did a lot of rhythm work with them, and the kids were just ecstatic working with these young, crazy guys. They were wild. And that was what we wanted to do, was show young kids that classical music is not some dead art for people over 80. It's something that's still alive, still interpretable, that classical music had improvisation in it, codas that are written and singers that do wild things at the end of pieces. It's not all just standard written music that's from Europe ages ago. It's alive and it's wonderful. So kids got pretty excited about it. And then the next day, the Project Trio group went to the middle school, and there they worked with the middle school grade kids. And then the elementary school kids from the entire district were bussed in for a concert with Project Trio, and also just to be exposed to this kind of vibrant music making. Well, the administrators were very excited about what happened, and of course none of it could have happened or happened as smoothly without the help of Nicole Densmore, who's a wonderful elementary music teacher here in the district and has been the liaison to all the other teachers and the administrators for Brenda and for the Summer Music Associates. I consider Nicole a member of the board, even though she's not on the board because she's too busy to be, but she is our link to the schools, and she's helped immeasurably. So 2 years went by, and it wasn't until this past September that we were able to create another program. So we brought in a group called Take 3, and the leader of that is Lindsay Deutsch, who's one of the most dynamic and vibrant musicians I've ever met. She is passionate about bringing music into the schools and getting children to understand the value of music, the value of classical music, the excitement of classical music. And so the same kind of setup was created where Lindsay and her 2 cohorts, pianist and a cellist, came into the school, worked with the kids, did improvisation, did all kinds of had all kinds of musical experience with the kids, and then again the second day worked with the elementary and the middle school kids. So hundreds of kids were impacted by this, by these 2 projects each time. So of course this is something we want to continue. Doing it every year. We would like to expand the outreach. It's wonderful that we work here in the Kearsarge Regional School District, but we think there are other school districts who may have less opportunity and funding for this kind of project, although Summer Music funds it all itself. So we're looking at ways of expanding the youth outreach to more children in the area, which of course is more cost. So our appeal to our supporters is to continue to support Summer Music Associates, but perhaps an extra little gift towards the youth outreach would help us continue this amazing project. I think it's been extraordinarily successful. Our feedback has been completely positive and joyous, even between the kids and the administrators and the teachers who have been involved. When Lindsay was here, we had lots of kids wanting to take selfies with her, and the younger kids all wanted her autograph, which was just very, very sweet. So we believe it only takes one experience sometimes in your life to change your life and open your mind. And I have a little quote I found that I'd like to read. I found it on Facebook, posted by a man named Von Fleischfresser, and it says, "Music isn't extra. Music isn't additional. Music isn't discretionary. Music isn't an add-on, and music isn't disposable. Music education is core, it's fundamental, it's necessary. It's an irreplaceable component of a holistic and meaningful education. That's what music is."
Thank you, Nancy, and to all those that make these encounters possible. When your Yankee Chronicle returns, we'll revisit a piece we did last fall about Glean Kearsarge. But first, let's glean another community-minded business that supports your Yankee Chronicle.
This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Welcome back to your Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel. Every fall, many gardens, private and commercial, leave many vegetables unharvested. Let's now hear about the efforts to glean them and provide food for those in need.
Glean Kearsarge is the next project in line of Feed Kearsarge, and Feed Kearsarge stands for Food, Education, Expansion, and Distribution. And the first project of Feed Kearsarge was Tray It Forward, which you may have heard about, where we deliver 400 trays of vegetable seedlings to people with food insecurities. And then we realized that just delivering trays doesn't necessarily work, so we started a program called Victory Gardens that would help people learn how to grow those vegetables. And then the next operation is Glean Kearsarge. Once we've grown all these wonderful fruits and vegetables, we've got to harvest them. And sometimes people's crops of fruits and vegetables don't have the labor and resources to harvest those fruits and vegetables, and Glean Kearsarge addresses just that. We are looking for people who have fruits and vegetables in their fields and on their trees that would be looking for resources to bring those fruits and vegetables to market. And when they let us know about a gleaning operation, we combine our forces with the Kearsarge Neighborhood Partners, who puts out a call to volunteers, and the volunteers come forth, and we harvested last year thousands of pounds of potatoes, thousands of pounds of carrots, a whole bunch of apples, and we bring them to our partner, the Kearsarge Food Hub, and from there they distribute those out to various places, including the food pantries.
Yeah, so here at the Kearsarge Food Hub, one of our many programs is food donations, and currently we work with 5 food pantries, which includes Warner Food Pantry, Bradford, Henniker, and New London. And we just started working with Keene State College again through their Hungry Owl program, which helps students gain access to healthy foods. And on site, we also have our Fridge, which is quite literally a free fridge, and it is a 24/7, no questions asked pantry on site for us. And so we take that gleaned product and we distribute it to our pantries.
The strategic partnership between Kearsarge Neighborhood Partners and the Food Hub is really amazingly well aligned. Both of these nonprofit organizations have as central to their mission to build healthy community. And the Food Hub builds healthy community in a variety of ways, but focuses on distributing healthy food to the individuals within the community. And Kearsarge Neighborhood Partners helps broker volunteer opportunities. And so the two are a match made in heaven. And with our combined partnership, we've created this whole Feed Kearsarge operation that includes other partners like Colby Sawyer and Spring Ledge Farm and the pantries. And so it's really an important relationship in terms of building the strength and vitality and resilience of our local communities.
So the mission of the Kearsarge Food Hub is to revitalize our community through healthy, nutrient-dense foods. And so we do that in a variety of ways. Like I mentioned, we have our food donation programs, but it all started for us on our farm, which grows organically, and we distribute food to neighboring towns. And one way that we distribute that is through our own market, where we source food from not only our own farm, but from other neighboring farms. And we source typically within a 30 to 50 mile radius. And that makes sure that local farms are being directly supported financially, and that food is going to local good people. And another way that we distribute food is through our new cafe, which takes that food and we make yummy recipes, and we allow people to enjoy that food in a different way.
If you want to participate, we're looking for gleaning opportunities, and if you have a gleaning opportunity, go to Kearsarge Neighborhood Partners, knpnh.org, and let us know about that, and we will gather the volunteer resources to harvest those fruits and vegetables so we can bring them on down to the Food Hub.
And if you want to learn more about the Kearsarge Food Hub, you can go to our website at kearsargefoodhub.org, or you can go to any of our social medias. You can also find us at Sweet Beet Market, Cafe, and Farm on our socials. Yeah, and you can find our market and cafe at 11 West Main Street in Bradford, and just turn at the light in Bradford, and we're about half a mile off of 103.
One of the missions of the Kearsarge Food Hub isn't just to grow vegetables, but they also have a mission to grow farmers. And Cassie is a product of the Food Hub's Farmer Apprenticeship Program, and so she learned how to become part of the farming community, and here she is now. We don't want to just grow vegetables, we need to grow farmers that grow vegetables, and Cassie's one of the examples of their success in doing so.
Thanks for all of your efforts to identify and clear those unharvested for those that have a need. Join us again next week at this same time for another edition of your Who, What, Where, and When show of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region. Check out ycnnow.com for the most up-to-date schedules and on-demand viewing of all of our shows. I'm Abby Peel. Join us next week at this same time for another edition of Yankee Chronicle. Stay safe, everyone.